Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Community Chats. My name is Anthony Saracusa, and I'm the Director of Community Engagement at the University of Mississippi. And I'm typically joined by my colleagues, Aaron Peiser-Oath and Dr. Jody Holland, but today they're off doing something else more fun. No, just kidding. We love them, and we love doing this program, especially with Dr. Holland, who represents LOFT, Lafayette Oxford Foundation for Tomorrow. Since the beginning of this effort, this has been a co-created initiative with Lafayette Oxford Foundation for Tomorrow, LOFT. I want to encourage y'all to go check out their website. They are a huge supporter of so many of our organizations here in the Lafayette Oxford University region, and they contribute to crucial work in so many areas. As you know, we come to you once or twice a week on Community Chats through Facebook, but you can also check us out on our YouTube channel, as well as through Spotify, where this has been made into a podcast. If you would like to be interviewed on Community Chats, or you know someone who should be, please reach out to us. You can connect at engaged@oldmiss.edu. Today, we are so very excited to have with us David Stone, who is the volunteer recruitment specialist in the Alabama-Mississippi region of the American Red Cross, and he is serving out of the North Mississippi chapter. David, welcome to Community Chats.
Thank you for inviting us, and thank you for allowing us to come and share the mission and the service of the American Red Cross.
Well, thank you for being here and for all the critical work that you do through the American Red Cross. And we want to make this your time, so let's jump right into it. Just get us started by telling us, where did you grow up and how did you end up in this community?
Well, actually, I grew up, first of all, I'm originally from the Miami, Florida area. That's where I was born, but I grew up in the Columbus, Caledonia, Mississippi area. And my family and we moved to Oxford in 2005. And in 2009, we moved from there to Water Valley, where we're currently at.
Wow. So you moved around a little bit, but been in Mississippi for a good amount of time. So you know this area, the region and its needs. How did you come into this position that you have now as the volunteer recruitment specialist?
Actually, I got started with the Red Cross in 2005 whenever Katrina and Rita happened. I was actually supposed to be going to the Jackson area for orientation for another organization that I was part of, but due to Katrina and Rita, they had us partner up with our local organizations in Oxford. And I started out as a volunteer with the Red Cross in the Oxford Lafayette County area, supporting the efforts of Hurricane Rita and Hurricane Katrina.
Now, were there a lot of people who were displaced a little farther north from the coast? And is that kind of what caused y'all to focus up a little farther north?
Well, our focus for the Red Cross in the Oxford Lafayette County area with Katrina and Rita were the evacuees that were finding safe ground, and we had a lot of those in the Oxford Lafayette County Red Cross service area, and it was a major overtaking, and I got started doing client casework of supporting those evacuees, providing them with the services that they needed as they trying to find refuge from the hurricane.
Gotcha. Yeah, what a momentous occasion to enter into this work with the American Red Cross. Tell us a little bit about the mission of the American Red Cross broadly, and then a little bit about how that applies in the work that you're doing locally.
The mission of the American Red Cross is to prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of emergencies, and how we do that is by through the mobilizing the power of our volunteers and the generosity of our donors, which is key to us accomplishing our mission, because without our volunteers or our donors, it's hard for us to it would be hard for us to accomplish the mission of the Red Cross.
Yeah, and you've kind of started into thinking about more broadly the team that it takes to pull this off. Talk to me a little bit about the group that's involved in this work. You talked about your volunteers, but what's the group that comes together to deliver these services?
Well, interesting enough, for the North, speaking about the North Mississippi chapter, we first of all, we have our executive director, which is over our chapter, and then we have several different lines of service, including disaster services, and we have our lead staff members and lead volunteers for all of our lines of service. And as far as our staff members, um, we are trying to get as close to 100% volunteer led as possible. And so right now we're somewhere around the 97, 98% as far as volunteers, and the other 3% is staff members. So it is very, very critical. Our volunteers are critical to the mission of the Red Cross, because without them, we would be able to accomplish the mission, but it would be very, very difficult.
Mm. Yes, that centrality of volunteers is so important to the work we do at the university in terms of trying to connect those volunteers to these kinds of opportunities. Share with us a little bit about some specific programs and initiatives that you all have going on, and how volunteers can get involved with some specific kinds of work.
Well, to answer that question, let me share with you about the Red Cross. And the American Red Cross, we shelter and feed and provide emotional support to clients that affected or have been affected by disasters. The Red Cross also supplies about 40% of the nation's blood. We also teach skills that save lives, such as first aid, CPR, AED. We also provide humanitarian service and aid, and support military members and their families. The American Red Cross is a nonprofit organization that depends on our volunteers and the generosity of our donors to perform our mission.
Yes, yes, critical functions, particularly in emergency situations. And we know the Red Cross is in communities across this nation helping out in those areas. I wonder, as you all carry out this work, David, what are some of the biggest challenges that you all face?
As far as what I see is one of my biggest challenges, um, um, is finding ways to meet the needs of those that we come in contact with or reach out to the Red Cross in a more personal way. Because with COVID right now, um, it COVID has not stopped the Red Cross from providing all of our critical um, um, needs and services to those that reach out to the Red Cross. But me being a volunteer recruitment specialist, my biggest challenge is I'm an in-person kind of guy, and what I do as a recruiter is I go and I talk to the different groups, clubs, things of that nature, churches, and try to reach out and recruit volunteers for whenever the time comes that there is an emergency, that we've got trained volunteers. So now, instead of us being able to go out and do that in a personal meeting or things, we've had to come up with some different ways of virtual ways of reaching out to volunteers, and trying to recruit those volunteers, and get training and everything else that needs done to whenever there is a need, that we have the trained volunteers to supply those needs.
Yes. Well, and what a difficult challenge, as you say, in this time of COVID, to make that personal connection and help direct that passion that people have for helping through volunteerism. But I imagine you also see a lot of rewards through doing this work. What are some of those rewards that you've experienced, David?
I'll share with you an experience with Katrina. One of the families that I met through Katrina. I met with this family and providing them with the services that they need: food, clothing, shelter, things of that nature. Um, um, the the father of that family, he told me, he said this. He said, I really appreciate everything that the Red Cross has provided for my family, the food, clothing, and shelter. But he told me this. He said, the most important thing that we provided to them was us being there for them, that they did not have to walk through that particular situation by themselves. They had, the Red Cross was that shoulder to lean on. He had somebody, his family had somebody to share with what they had just experienced, and they didn't have to walk alone through that situation. And that is, to me, very, very powerful, that to be able to reach out to somebody. You're talking about the rewards, that really touched my heart, and let me know that what we do in Red Cross is important, because we are providing not just help, but hope for those that are impacted by disasters, not just to get the things that they need, but to recover and move on and continue and not just continue with their life, but a lot of those that have been impacted and have been supported by the Red Cross, they actually become volunteers because they want to be able to give back to what was given to them to help others. So,
Yeah, that's wonderful. Not just serving direct needs, but also providing that hope and that companionship that people need often more than ever in those moments of crisis and emergency.
right.
What a gift to be able to walk with people through those times and to be able to help them out. How can folks in our community, David, contribute to the work that you're doing, either on our campus or in the broader North Mississippi community?
Well, the very first thing, two things. You can go to our Red Cross website at www.redcross.org/volunteer today, and complete your Red Cross volunteer application and start the process of becoming a Red Cross volunteer. You can also go on our Red Cross website, and if you would like to be one of our donors, you can take and donate to our mission. And because, like the mission says, without our volunteers, our donors, it would be hard for us to accomplish the mission of the Red Cross.
Wow, phenomenal. Two direct ways people can get involved and contribute to this essential work. Well, David, we call this our 1 minute moment, and we want to give you the chance to deliver any message that you think you'd like to deliver right now to the citizens of Lafayette, Oxford, as well as to our campus community.
One of the things that I do as a Red Cross volunteer, I am a recruiter. So those of you that are listening, if you're part of a group, organization, club, whatever, and want to know more about the Red Cross, the services we provide, and how y'all can become a part of what the Red Cross is doing and the mission of the Red Cross, you can feel free to give me a call. My number is 662-701-7133. And my email is david.stone@redcross.org, to where we can set up a time for me to get on the agenda to come and speak to your group or club or your members, to see where you can fit into our mission. And as far as recruitment, this is what I really want to share. The Red Cross volunteers touch lives every day. They are as diverse as the people receiving Red Cross services. It takes all kinds of people to make the organization work. Different ages, different backgrounds, different skills, which includes diversity and inclusion and engagement. The next call the Red Cross receives to respond to a family in need could be a friend, a neighbor, a family member, or yes, even you. We want to leave lives better than what we found them when they came to us for help. So please help the Red Cross to help you help those in need. By becoming a Red Cross volunteer today, you can become the best part of someone's worst day. What we do really makes a difference, and that is important. And you can be a part of the recovery of your own community.
Wow. What a powerful message, David, that you have shared today with our listeners and with our viewers. And what an incredible scope of work that the Red Cross has, helping people out in some of the most difficult moments of their lives, but not just providing direct services and addressing those needs, as important as they are, but also walking with people and providing hope in those moments. David, on behalf of the Office of Community Engagement and Loft, thank you for the work that you're doing with the American Red Cross and the North Mississippi chapter, and for being such a believer in the power of volunteering in our country and community. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Y'all, for everybody who tuned in today, please share this feed widely. David has shared some outstanding information about the American Red Cross in our region, has shared some direct ways that you can get involved. Your friends need to know about this, so please share it on Facebook. We'll make sure to link all the information David shared in the comments below this video. And we hope that everyone is staying well during this time, but also staying engaged. We thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Community Chats.